Welcome to the Crimson Tide Connection, your home for Crimson Tide sports. I'm joined today by the head coach of the Alabama soccer team, Todd Bramble. Coach, how are you?
Excellent. Looking forward to being back at home this week.
I'm sure you are, Coach. After traveling to Gainesville this past Friday night, you took on the 8th-ranked Gators. You lost 3-0 in that matchup. How do you feel about your team's performance against the Gators?
Well, I thought we started the game really well. We came out, we created the first two good scoring chances of the game. Florida got a little bit of a scrappy goal midway through the first half off of a corner kick and capitalized on that. And then we had a really good chance to tie the game up 1-1 after that, and unfortunately missed that. And then Savannah Jordan, their forward, that's freshman forward that's really hot right now, scored a fantastic goal to put them up 2-0 right before the half. And it ended up being too much for us to overcome, but I did see some good things from our team.
Coach, it wasn't enough that you traveled to Gainesville to take on the 8th-ranked Gators, but you also had your time of the game pushed back an hour. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, being on buses and planes for 20 years now in this profession, it was a trip that we've never experienced before. At least I haven't had anything happen like it. And to be clear, I mean, this is certainly not an excuse for how the game unfolded, because Florida, they deserved to win, but it was a tough trip getting down there. And going to a game like that as a coach, you want all the preparations to be perfect for the players, for everything to fall into place. And unfortunately, our bus broke down Thursday. We left 10:30 in the morning, and we got stranded for like 4 hours on Thursday. So we changed our hotel plans and stayed in Tallahassee instead of Gainesville that first night. And everything was going good for us to finish our trip on Friday, and then the bus that was repaired broke down again, and we were stranded again for another 3 hours. And so we ended up eating fast food on the bus and arriving, right at our scheduled kickoff time at 7 o'clock. And fortunately, the people down at Florida were fantastic, and the conference office, and giving us at least enough time to get off the bus and warm up a little bit and play the game. And it was difficult, but I was really proud of how the players handled the adversity, and they certainly gave it their best effort in the game. But for the staff and the players, that'll be a trip that we'll never forget for sure.
Well, Coach, as you said, it's not an excuse, but it certainly doesn't help when you're traveling to the 8th-ranked Gators to have to encounter some of those issues.
No, we would want, as a coach, you want all the conditions to be in your favor, so the players can be totally focused on the task at hand. And that didn't happen that way for us, but we're looking ahead now.
Well, Coach, speaking of looking ahead, moving to the week ahead, you're preparing for your first SEC home games of the season when you take on Vanderbilt on Friday night and Tennessee on Sunday. Can you talk about those teams and how do you feel like you match up against them?
It's going to be two great games. Both these teams bring a lot of attack and firepower. I've watched Vanderbilt on tape quite a bit now, and they've got three really dynamic forwards that we're going to have our hands full with. That game's going to be a wide open game. It's going to be up and down the field. It's going to be really exciting for the fans. And then when we come in on Sunday, turn around a Tennessee team that just beat Texas A&M. They've got a big-time, a world-class forward who we'll see playing in the 2015 World Cup for New Zealand. Hannah Wilkinson, she's a fantastic player. So, once again, our defense is going to have our hands full with her this weekend. So, two really good games, and I'm happy to have them at home.
Coach, speaking of being at home, you've only played three already. This will be your 4th and 5th games of the home season. What does it mean to have a big supportive crowd at your home games, especially when you have SEC opponents coming in, and especially on Sunday when the matchup against Tennessee is on TV? And I know you want to have a good showing for the crowds at home.
Yeah, I mean, there's, home field advantage it's real. It's not, in any sport. But for soccer, I think it can even mean more, because soccer is such a player sport. Once the game kicks off, there's very little that the coaches can do. There's no timeouts. There's no stoppages. There's nothing that can sort of be choreographed to get the fans into it. It's just something where the fans can really do a lot to drive the energy of the game. And we've had a great group of students that have come out to all our games up to this point. And I know our players have talked about it. The extra shot of adrenaline it gives them at times when the game gets tough. It can make it demoralizing for the visiting team at times, and so it's really important that we get good support again this weekend. And like you mentioned, Sunday's game is on TV, and I think Alabama is well known nationally for the type of support that the athletes get when they come to play here, and we certainly want that to be on display Sunday as well.
Well, Coach, so far this season you've had a tough schedule. We're now at the midpoint, and your 8 opponents thus far have a combined record of 50, 16, and 5. All but 2 of your opponents have 2 or less losses, and 3 of those are in the top 15 in the nation. Just talk about your team's mindset and the fact that there's still a lot of soccer left to play.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, everything that we want to accomplish this year as a team is still out there for us. Is still possible. We're only looking forward right now, and the mindset of the team is really good. And I can say that with a lot of confidence because of the 2 practices we've had this week. I think we just came off the 2 practices that are probably the best, some of the best practices we've had since the preseason started. So that, as a coach, gives me a really good feeling that the team is still feeling really positive and optimistic about what's ahead of them. The schedule that you just mentioned that we've played has been really, really difficult, but that's going to have prepared us physically and mentally for what we have left. And I can't wait to start playing again this weekend.
Well, Coach, since we're at the midpoint of the season, can you discuss your newcomers and how they've adjusted to the college game thus far?
Yeah, we've got a smaller squad this year, so almost everybody on our team has contributed in games in important moments. And when you look at some of the youth on our team right now, the group in the back, we've got our 4 defenders and our goalkeeper are made up of 2 freshmen and 3 sophomores. So that's the youngest part of our team. And I would say, to be fair, that's been the bright spot of our team up to this point. They have battled, they have kept us in games, they've given us a chance. And we're just waiting for our offense to catch fire a little bit, to get us over the hump so we can start winning some of these games. But the group of new players that we have on our squad this year, I'm really happy about the way they performed up to this point.
Seems like that bodes well for the future.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, good luck this weekend when you take on Vanderbilt at 7 p.m. on Friday night and against Tennessee at 1 p.m. Sunday. If you can't be here, Friday night's game, you can catch it live on Tide TV at rolltide.com, and you can catch Sunday's action on CSS. For head coach Todd Bramble, I'm Christopher England, and that's it for this edition of the Crimson Tide Connection.